All right, let's do this. Eric Arnold here in the Sports Barn. It is Thanksgiving, around noonish, 24th of November. So we got to get this done before my dwindling family shows up. And I'm expected to be on duty. So let's get this done here. We got the whole weekend here for you, so don't go anywhere. Got the whole weekend of college games, NFL games. Basically, I just went through the whole slate and just kind of checked boxes, and hey, who knows. I did run the model on the college football stuff. I've kind of set that aside this year just because I haven't been that comfortable with where it's been going. I guess what I'll do is, and I didn't do it, but I have a hunch when I check its accuracy at the end of the year, it'll be just as good as it is every year. And I just didn't use it. Just too much going on. So at any rate, today, let's get right to that on the top here as this game's kicking off in minutes. Lions, Bills. I don't know. This is probably a trap, but I'm going to take the Lions. 9.5 points. I mean, come on now. That's a lot. That's a lot. As you can see, we got World War III going on out here. You can hear the shooting in the background. Some poor target is trying to escape my neighbor, and he's going to make sure he shoots the hell out of that target. So that target doesn't have a chance. But the Lions have won 3 straight games. They just beat the Giants. So I'm kind of thinking they're not that bad. And Buffalo, I think they're getting just way too much love here. They are a good team. Certainly one of the best teams in the NFL. I'm going to argue a neutral site. It's not a home game for Buffalo, even though they played at home there on Sunday. It's kind of a neutral site, so I guess you're bound to, are the Bills 10 points better than Buffalo? Or I'm sorry, is the Bills 10 points better than Detroit? We're going to say that it shades just a little bit in Detroit's favor. Just a little bit. So we're going to hope that Detroit can hang close and lose by a touchdown. That's what we're playing here in the opener. Now, the second game we feel good about. We feel real good about this. Giants getting 10 at Dallas. Dallas is a better team, but they're not that much better. I mean, they played earlier in the year. It was relatively close, even though Dallas, in my mind, had a clear advantage. So now I guess everybody's thinking, hey, Dallas coming off 40-3. They're so damn good. What are we going to do? We might as well just give them the title now. The Giants coming off a loss. I think the Giants are going to play their best game today, and I think that'll be enough to keep this close. 10 points is a lot in the NFL, especially in what could be a low-scoring game. We're going to go with the Giants, take the points. And then the night game, I'm going to go ahead with the Vikings here. I think you got to go with the Vikings bouncing off that bad loss last week. The Patriots, they're feeling good about themselves. They've got a huge game next week with the Bills. I think they might be looking over the hedge a little bit. Oh, I know Belichick doesn't let them do things like that. But sometimes you can't help it. So they might be just peaking a little bit. The Vikings have been a good home team here these last 10 years or so. Now, unfortunately, the guy who made them that good team isn't there anymore, Mike Zimmer. So this could be a trap here with the young coach who certainly didn't look very good last Sunday. But we'll take the Vikings. So today your teams are Lions, Giants, Vikings. That's the plays for today. Now college, if you like college. Huge game in the SEC tonight. The Egg Bowl. And if you don't know what that is, Mississippi versus Mississippi State. And this is a Nasty game. These two teams hate each other. I mean, really hate each other. And I guess you got to be down in that world to know why. And I can't enunciate the exact reasons why, but I know they hate each other. So there's going to be some major heat in this game tonight. We're going Mississippi State. They're getting 2.5 from what I saw. They had a big, easy win last week against a tomato can. I think that sets them up pretty well for this game. Mississippi just totally, I don't know what happened. They just blew up against Arkansas and got destroyed. They scored some points late to make it look semi-respectable, but they were down like something crazy, like 42-3 at some point. That's hard to explain. I think you got real cracks in your foundation when shit like that's going down. So we're taking Lynch and the Bulldogs here on Thursday. All right, let's go into Friday. Let's get that out of the way. All college on Friday. I think England smashes the United States, wins by at least 2 goals. That's my guess there in the World Cup. Then on college, let's see, we got Texas. We like them over Baylor. Tulane, check the weather. Weather's going to be okay on Friday. So Tulane up at Cincinnati. Don't worry about the weather. Take the points with Tulane. Got a MAC game in here. The model likes Western Michigan for some god unknown reason. We like Florida State to cover the 10.5 over Florida. Fresno State late to take care of Wyoming at home. And then Penn, that's on the Saturday. Then we're on to Saturday. So Friday, you got Texas, Tulane, Western Michigan, Florida State, and Fresno State. Now we're on to Saturday. So Saturday, and we're going to have a pick on the Ohio State game. That's at the end here. Saturday, we love Penn State. We love Penn State to smash the hell out of Michigan State. I mean, when you get 7 members of your team are under criminal indictment, I don't know how that doesn't fuck up the whole team. I think that permeates throughout the whole team, and not in a good way. I don't think they're going to get together in the locker room before this Penn State game and go, all right, let's show them. Let's get out there and show them that we're ready to fight. Your criminal indictment, I mean, that's pretty nasty stuff here. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Ann Arbor authorities have, or I guess the county, whatever county the Ann Arbor's in, has decided to charge these Michigan State kids who were involved in the tunnel beatdown, where somehow 1 or 2 Michigan kids got mixed up in the midst of the Michigan State kids as they were coming off the field. They got separated from their guys and got trapped in the herd of Michigan State guys, and the Michigan State guys decided to beat the shit out of them. And they're charging these kids criminally. I guess I got mixed feelings about that. It probably, the fight went beyond what's a normal sports fight. It was not on the field. Although, there have been legendary fights, if you will, off the field of play. I'm thinking of hockey in particular. They used to have something at the old Spectrum in Philadelphia called the Holmgren Gate. The Holmgren Gate, named for Paul Holmgren, who's been a member of management in hockey for the last 20 years. He used to be one of the nastiest, worst goons in the league. He attacked Wayne Cashman after they had a fight on the ice. Holmgren was so angry at Cashman because he thought he was trying to gouge his eyes. He attacked him in the back, tried to go behind the walkway that leads to between the locker rooms and went after Cashman in the hallway between locker rooms in the bowels of the Spectrum. So they put this gate in there to prevent people from doing that in the future. The Holmgren gate. So it has happened. So I got mixed feelings there. All I know, it ain't going to help Michigan State beat Penn State, who's on a real roll right now. Their schedule is clear of elite teams that they can't handle. They're just teams, and they're great. Just ask them. So they can kill all these average teams they're playing, and they don't have to play any elite teams. So Penn State laid the 18.5, like them. Appy State would like them to beat Georgia Southern. Memphis take the points against SMU. Houston would lay the points against Tulsa. And now here we go. Now you get down to the meat. USC Notre Dame. USC wins this game. They're in the title game facing Oregon. So they got Notre Dame, Oregon, win those two games. They're in the championship game. Or I should say the championship playoffs. That's all they got to do. They got to beat Notre Dame. They got to beat Oregon. Then they're in. I think Notre Dame's going to give these guys a game. Notre Dame seems to me to be peaking at the moment. They're right there. They're getting better. Normally, Notre Dame fades at the end of the year. And I think it's a travel thing. In other words, Notre Dame plays this national schedule, and they're right in the middle of the country, and they go boop, 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 all season long. They just go back and forth from coast to coast, and it wears you the hell out. And usually by the end of the year, they're worn out. This year, they haven't traveled much at all. Most of their games have been in the Chicago area. They've only traveled a couple times, and there it's been mostly local type trips. They traveled to Columbus. That's not a long trip from Chicago to Columbus. So I think this Notre Dame team is actually peaking at the end of the year, whereas normally they do not. So we're going to take the points here with the Irish out in Los Angeles to give USC a game. My notes say 5.5. So that's where we're going to be there. All right, big game. This is the one you want to hear. The game. I said to anyone that would listen, 4 years ago, when the university did not back Dirty Urban, I said, someday we are going to regret this. Saturday is that day. Dirty Urban, 7-0. 7-0 against Michigan. Then we had another guy we got rid of. He was, I forget what the hell he was. Was he 9-1? 10-1? The vest, Jim Tressel, the senator. We got Ryan Day. And I'm not sure I'm buying what Ryan Day is selling. I'm just not. I'm looking at what happened last year. I'm comparing last year's team to this year's team, and I'm thinking to myself, what's different? What's different? They killed us last year. It wasn't close. They killed us. Can we stop the run this year? Maybe. I think our defense is slightly better than it was last year. So, there, we got that going for us. Can we block them? I don't think so. In other words, I think they're going to get a pass rush on C.J. Stroud. And C.J. Stroud has all the mobility of a traffic island. He can't move at all. I don't know if this kid is just slow or he's been told by somebody, maybe his future NFL agent, hey, you don't want to be one of those running quarterbacks. That'll hurt your NFL draft status. And if you look, this dude is slotted to go number 1 basically in the draft next year. I don't like this whole setup. Every time we beat Michigan, I won't say every time, but damn near every time, we had a running, gunning quarterback that could move around. Dwayne Haskins notwithstanding. But mostly, you look at the guys, Braxton Miller, JT, Justin Fields. We had guys that could move. So I can't even think back past into the Tressel days. My mind is blanking. Troy Smith, that was the fellow I was thinking of. Guys that could move, we could get that dirty first down when we needed it with the legs of the quarterback. Well, we don't have that with C.J. Stroud. He showed me no ability to move at all last year, and we got beat, and it wasn't close. So I fear this is going to be more of the same. Dirty Urban's going to be there, I'm sure, with the Fox crew. He's going to be gleefully drinking out of his 7-0 cup, and he's going to be enjoying the pain of us Ohio State fans as Michigan shows why we should have never gotten rid of Dirty Urban. That's what I think is going to happen Saturday. So Saturday is that day. That's regret day for Ohio State. It's regret day, saying we used to have a guy who didn't put up with this bullshit. We used to have a guy that won. He used to win. Where is he? Oh, there he is. He's wearing sunglasses over there, drinking out of a 7-0 coffee mug. All right, pros. Let's go with the NFL. Let's get that out of the way here quick. All right. Ravens, Jaguars. The Ravens are one of the best teams in the league, and you're only laying 3.5 against one of the worst teams in the league. No brainer. You got to take Baltimore here over Jacksonville, at Jacksonville. Lay the 3.5. Buccaneers, 3-point favorites at Cleveland. Again, Cleveland, one of the worst teams in the league. The Buccaneers, you got one of the best quarterbacks in history. Don't overthink it. Lay the 3 with the Buccaneers. Bears, Jets. This is a weird one. I don't know what to do here. You're getting 6. That feels like a lot of points for a team that can't score like the Jets. So you just got to hope the Bears can luck a touchdown in or two and keep it close. We're going to take the 6 and take the Bears. Titans, Bengals. Bengals 3-point favorites at Tennessee. Tennessee is one of these. I think they're not getting the respect they deserve, especially here. I mean, who died and made Cincinnati king? That they're 3-point favorites at Nashville. I'll take the Titans. Dolphins, 13.5-point favorites against the Texans. We're going to ride the Dolphins. Right now, I just got this feeling that the Dolphins, until someone proves otherwise, this is a really good team. This is a really good team. And the Texans appear to be a really bad team. So, it's a lot of points. But we'll take the good team. We'll take the Dolphins. I had it down, and then I thought, you know what? Washington's still Washington. They're a good team. They're better than average. They're in the best division in the league. But my God, they're the freaking Commandos, or whatever they're calling themselves. They're not important enough to call them by their correct name. I'm going to go ahead with the Falcons here, catching 4.5. I think this is the game where the Commandos just start smelling themselves a little bit, and I think you got a shot here with the Falcons. So we're going to go with the Falcons over the Commandos. Broncos, Panthers. We're just going to go with Russell Wilson, lay the 1.5. I think the Panthers at some point are going to start to wear down. And you fire your coach, a good coach, I might add, a very good coach early in the year. At some point, that's got to wear you down. And I think the Panthers at some point are going to start to wear down. With their, third quarterback in 3 weeks or 4 weeks? Something crazy like that? That's no good. That's no good. Remember, we do not like chaos in the barn. We fade chaos, and there's chaos in Carolina. So lay the 1.5 with the Broncos. Here's the Raiders, the freaking Raiders. We won with them last week. Seahawks minus 3.5 against the Raiders. I don't know. I can't go Raiders 2 weeks in a row. I think that's just a bridge too far for those guys. We'll lay the 3.5. We'll take Pete Carroll and Geno Smith, for God's sake. We'll take the Seahawks. We're trying to hit a sneaky home run here with the Cardinals hosting the Chargers. The Chargers are 3-point favorites. Chargers looking ahead to a big game against I forget who. It was I forget. I forget. I don't remember. It was somebody that they would look ahead to, and I'll be damned if I can remember who it is. Don't know. But at any rate, we're going to go ahead and say the Cardinals here, that somehow they play a decent game after getting embarrassed on international television Monday night, that the Cardinals play a good game. That's what we're looking for. Rams 15.5-point underdogs at Kansas City. I keep saying the Rams can't be this bad. How can they be this bad? They just won the Super Bowl, and every week they show me how they are that bad. But by God, 15.5-point favorites. I don't know there's ever been a defending Super Bowl champion that's been a 15.5-point underdog. We're going to take the points. We're going to take the Rams. Andy is pretty predictable in these situations. He will not go out for blood against the Rams. He wants the W, but he doesn't want to get anyone hurt. He doesn't want to rub it in. Yeah, he's usually pretty good about that, in that, he doesn't want to be that guy that the whole league has a hard-on for. I mean, look at his funny commercials. He draws mustaches and for State Farm or whatever. So Andy will make sure that the Rams aren't totally humiliated, I think. Andy's going to, if Andy gets up 14-0, I could see him somewhat 21-0. That's maybe better. 21-0. I could see him pulling his punches and letting the Rams get a late touchdown to cover. I could see that happening. All right, Niners Saints. We're going to just stick with the Niners. It seems to me like they are. I mean, my brother, the Eagle fan, he wants to scoff and laugh and point at them and go, they're the greatest 4-loss team ever. He fears the 49ers. Don't get it twisted. He fears them because they are good, and everybody knows it. That line is where it is for a reason. The Niners are good, really good. They may be the best team in the NFC. Until they play somebody really good as well, we won't know. But we'll lay the 8.5 because we really think the Saints stink. So I think the Niners will take care of business there. Eagles, Packers. I'm going to put aside my fear of Aaron Rodgers and just shove it away because he has not been anything worth fearing this year. He's been bad more often than not. The Eagles are due to play a good game. Some of the things that they've been struggling with, run defense, they've somewhat corrected now that they've brought in a bunch of giant-ass tackles. I guess the way the NFL works is that guys get to the end of their career and they're just tired. They can still play, but maybe not for a whole season, or they don't want to play for a whole season. Guys may already have their rings. So they go home and they sit there by the phone, and if the right team calls, they'll play. Or the price is right. Apparently, one of these players the Eagles picked up over the past week, it might have been Ndamukong Suh. I probably butchered that name anyway. The giant nasty guy from Nebraska. I think Dallas may have given him a call earlier in the year, and he just said, not interested. The Eagles called him up, and he said, okay, that's pretty good. So at least he thinks the Eagles are pretty good, and he played well last Sunday. Him and Linval Joseph, these guys came in off the street and played really well. So I'm thinking the Eagles have got their run defense back to where it's okay. It's not going to kill us. So the Packers won't be able to run the ball, and the Eagles have good pass defense. Rodgers is going to struggle. The Eagles are due to put some points on the board. I think that now they've had a chance to adjust to the loss of Dallas Goedert. I think A.J. Brown has had a couple weeks now to heal off his ankle injury. He's going to be right. They're going to score some points on these Packers. Lay the 6.5. Take the Eagles. And then Monday night, for no reason whatsoever, let's take the Steelers. Lay the 2.5. Take the Steelers on the road. That's what we got there for you. All right, so there you have it. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll talk again probably next week. Well, I'm on vacation, so I don't know. You may or may not get a video next week. Depends on how much time I have and interest and that sort of thing. So we'll see how it goes. But, hey, thanks for everybody being here throughout the years or what have you. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll talk again. Eric Arnold signing off.